Hi, my name is TJ Krasinski, and I want to walk over how templates in Madry work. Templates in Madry are core to being efficient and saving time when planning your productions. Templates in Madry can vary from one row to a series of rows to an entire sheet. So, let's create a few templates and then build a sheet from them. So, if I go to the Templates tab in my project here and I hit plus template, we'll make a banner, and this is a full width banner. It's already kind of there. So I'll go ahead and hit create template. This is giving me kind of this default empty state for a sheet here, or a template, which is just a bunch of rows. I don't really need them all. I'm going to select the cells in rows that I want to delete with command click and delete rows. So this gives me one row basically with 4 cells in it. And I actually want to adjust kind of how it looks. So I'm going to right click on one of the cells and hit edit row layout. And this, I think, will reveal a little bit about how Madry works. The cells in Madry are actually on top of a grid where you have rows and columns, and they can live kind of anywhere on that grid. I'm going to delete a few of these cells that we don't need because we just want to make this kind of like banner that is just like one cell high in the full width of the sheet, and we'll put some text in it. But you can see if I wanted to create new cells, I can click this button, move these cells around, resize them, etc. And it gives me a lot of flexibility about how kind of rundowns, production schedules, etc. look. So I'm happy with this. One cell high, full width. We'll go ahead and exit out of that editor, and you can see is what I have. There's another extra little line here, which is a row border, and I actually want to remove that. So I'm going to remove the row border. And then inside this cell, I'm going to put banner text just as a placeholder. And I'm going to make it a subheading. I want to center it horizontally. I want to center it vertically. And there, it's looking good. Let's change the cell background color to kind of call more attention to the fact that it is a banner. Oops. Let's do a light yellow here, and then we'll make the border a little bit darker yellow to give it kind of a little bit of, some detail there. And that looks good. So it's like the simplest template you can make. Let's make one a little more complex for video rolls. So we'll call this a video roll, and used for video rolls in the general session. And we're actually going to use a content template here. We're going to use the rundown content template, and you'll see what that gives us. So we'll go ahead and create that. And we have a little bit of a mess here because of some of the formatting of the timing here, which we'll talk about in a minute. But this video roll is only one queue. So I'm going to delete again, like I did with the other template we made, extra rows. So I'll just command click on some cells from the rows we want to get rid of, go up to row, delete rows, and we're left now with one row here. This cell here is being used to kind of be the item number. And if I delete this :100, what'll happen when we put this in a sheet is that text will be replaced with the item number. Likewise, the start time, the duration, and time. We'll see how that kind of plays out when we get into the sheet. This is a decent layout for me, but I don't really need a staging category. Instead, I really want like a screens category, or maybe DSMs. I don't see one of those categories here, so I'll just go to cell and I'll edit categories, and let's make a new category called DSM. We'll give it a background color. We'll give it a text color. And we'll go ahead and hit create. And there it is, DSM. So we'll change the staging cell category instead to DSM. And then we can put our DSM item number in there. So this is not doors, obviously. This is a video roll template. So we'll say video, and then we'll say, video name, because this is a template. These are kind of placeholders here. So we'll say video title, and then we'll just say, video title. We'll say video file, and we'll say video file name. And then we'll have version, v number, and then we'll say updated. We don't even need to update. Let's do version. Cool. Duration. This is saying the duration is 5 minutes and 0 seconds, which is totally fine for now. For audio, this is going to come out of a VTR. We don't know which one, so we'll just put VTR pound pound. Likewise for video, it's going to come out of VTR. For the DSM, this is going to be DSM. We don't quite know yet. And then for lighting, it's going to be Q. And again, we don't know. So this is great. Actually, I like this as a kind of base layout because I've adjusted the category here. I like this as just like a base layout generally for some of the other templates I want to make. So if I come up here to row, create template from row, we'll do a base rundown item template. And we'll use that for our speaker template in a second here. So this all looks good. Just to give it a little bit of distinction from other rows, we'll give it a little bit of a blue here. And all our video roles will have that blue to them. So we'll go ahead and make our speaker template. And we know we created this base rundown item template, which is great. So we'll call this speaker Q. Used for speakers in the general session. And then we're not going to use any content templates because we've picked this kind of base rundown item template. We'll go ahead and create that. When we kind of go through a speaker on this production, there's gonna be a few things. One, we're going to always have like a walk on and a walk off. And when I create my rundown, it would just be helpful to have those ready to go. Where, I add a speaker and that, rundown and everything is there. So let's go ahead and duplicate this row, and we're gonna do it twice. Oops, hit the wrong button there. And cool. This first row is going to be intro, and then it's going to be speaker name. And we'll say, walk on from up stage, left, or whatever it may be. Let's say our ASM's name is Steve. So Steve to hand off clicker. And then for our audio during the intro, we're going to do IR. For the video, we're going to do this is going to come off GFX 2, let's say. And that's the theme graphic, or this is the title slide. Certain title slide number. For the lighting, we're going to say all walk-ons are Q number 10. And then for the DSM preset, it's like DSM preset 2. So we'll just go through here with the rest of these. So Lav, it just depends on the speaker. Video is GFX, and that's probably going to be 1, so we can just do that. The lighting is always going to be Q number 11, and the DSM preset is DSM preset number 3. So we can actually just delete these for this, delete some of these for this last walk-off row here, and we'll just say theme graphic. Walk-off lighting cues is always Q number 12, and audio is IR, and it'll depend on the speaker. Obviously, this doesn't make sense for presenters, so let's go ahead and just continue to update this speaker name, and we'll say walk-off. And then we'll say walk off to upstage right. Steve to grab clicker. And then during the presentation, we'll say PPT is PowerPoint file name. And then we'll say version. What is it, like version? And then if there are any other notes I have for the speaker, I can do that there. We only want item numbers for the speaker themselves. We don't need item numbers for the walk-ons or walk-offs, just the speaker. So we'll delete the item numbers out of there. And I think we're ready to go make a rundown. So if I go to my Sheets tab in the project, I'll do a new sheet, and we'll just start with a speaker queue. So we'll create the sheet from the speaker queue template, and we'll say general session day 1. We don't really need a description, and we'll just skip forward. This is, let's say we're in February, and we'll go ahead and create that. So by default, we have inherited some of the the speaker queue rows that we had in that template. Above this person, the first thing that's going to happen in our show is we're going to roll a video. So I'll hit this plus and that'll insert a row above that. And we know it's going to be like intro video. Let's say like, or like yearly recap. Maybe it's like a sales recap, something. And we'll say like yearly recap. And we'll say, you know, you'd put in there all your details about that. This is coming off VTR1. We're in lighting Q8 for this particular role. We're in DSM preset. We actually don't have a DSM preset for this because no one's on stage yet. It doesn't matter. This is all good. You notice this start time here is not rendering. So this is no time found. We want to basically get to a point in our show where when our first speaker starts, we're at 9 a.m. So what we'll do is we'll double click on this cell with the start time for our speaker, which here's this item number 2. And inside of braces, we'll put 9 a.m. And now basically we have, you know, got times. And what has happened basically is we've defined a time that, you know, the rest of the rows in our sheet can kind of calculate from. So if we go backward, this intro is set to 5 minutes for the speaker. It's way too long. So we'll go ahead and take that off. And really we want a 15-second intro. So we can see at 8:59 and 45 seconds, we would intro the speaker. Likewise, this yearly recap video, let's say it's, you know, 4 minutes and 30 seconds. We need to roll it at 8:55 and 15 seconds. Likewise, you know, the presentation will probably be 15 minutes and then the walk off 5 minutes is way too long. Let's say it's only 10 seconds. So there we've adjusted basically all of our timing for our sheet here. And also I want my item numbers to start at 100. So I'm actually going to go up to this first video yearly recap, item number, and inside the curly braces we'll do item colon 100. And that will default basically the row number to be the item number to start at 100. And you can see I don't have an item number in this row, but I do here, and that'll increment when I have that. So if we add another speaker queue here, you can see because this item number is, you know, doesn't have a specified number, it'll just increment as needed. And, you know, we can go through there. Let's add that banner that we created and we'll say start records. And we'll also do another one for start stream. And then we know we're ending the video or ending our show with a video. So we'll go ahead and add a video roll to the end. And we'll add one more row, which is actually 2 more, where we have our stop records and then we have our stop stream. Great. So we built our rundown. Obviously, we'd have a lot of details and little things to plug in here as kind of things develop and we figure out kind of what goes where. There will come a time where you want to basically freeze the item numbers. So for instance, right now, if I were to move this recap video after the first speaker, you'll notice the item numbers are all kind of messed up because we're defining our starting item number at 100 here, and this one hasn't got one defined, so it just defaults to 1. If we move our video back, we're going to go up to File and we'll freeze item numbers. This will hard code the item number in to the row, and if I now move this, you can see you know, our item numbers are preserved. So if there's a point in time where you don't want, you know, things to kind of adjust in terms of your item numbers, you're able to do that with freeze item numbers, and you're all set. So let's say we like this and we actually have a 4-day show where every day is going to be fairly similar, and we'll benefit from templates in another way where we'll go ahead and create a template from the sheet and we'll call it general session you know, template. Go ahead and create that. Then if I need to create a day 2, I can say general session day 2, and we'll use our general session template. We're on February 4th and we'll create that. And here we are. We now can make our edits and do everything we need to build our rundown.